breakfast with me, Alan HERBERT, and the sign language interpreter is Esther Kendi. And President Ruto declares housing project unstoppable. President William Ruto has once again stated that the court injunctions against the affordable housing program will not deter his administration from implementing the Kenya Kwanza pet project. Here is the president speaking.
The Constitution of Kenya, Section The Constitution of Kenya, Section 25 of the Constitution of Kenya mandates me to explain if there is a problem if we cannot raise money to do housing. We have a plan on how to raise money for housing. I have no explanation to give. This program must move forward for the benefit of millions of Kenyans across the country in terms of employment and in also making sure that ordinary Kenyans can also access affordable living. Contractors wote wanaofanya kazi kwa mambo ya affordable housing, pamoja na vijana wote na wale wanafanya kazi katika mpango huu, karibu watu 1130. Mimi nataka niwaambie waendelee kazini, kwa sababu hii mpango inaendelea mpaka pale tutamalizana na mambo kule kotini.
Ile vijana ambaye wataandikwa hapa, mafundi, watu ya mkono, watu ya stima, ni vijana wa hapa Bungoma hapa. Tumekubaliana contractor asilete watu hapa, si ndio? Contractor akuje na watu watatu peke yake, yeye mwenyewe, engineer wake na mtu ya kulipa watu.
Ile kitu tunawaambia vijana, muendelee kuwa watulivu na waaminifu kwa serikali, kwa sababu huyu rais wetu ni rais ambaye anaweka ahadi zake.
Nimetembea huku nikifanya public participation, na nikauliza, nyinyi mkienda hospitali na vile nimesikia kwingine, wao wanamwandikia dawa, wanamwambia mnunue nje. Hao wako na kadi ya NHIF, lakini wanawaambia ati mpaka walazwe ndio watumie. Ni ukweli ama uongo? Wakienda na wako na ugonjwa ile sugu umesema ya kansa, ya sukari, wanaambiwa waongezee pesa kwa NHIF. Ni ukweli hapa ni uongo? Sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, in a week's time, sheria mimi nitakuwa nimepeleka kwa kamati ya delegated authority. Kuanzia tarehe 1 mwezi wa 3. Hiyo mambo yote mimi nimepewa ruhusa na rais, ninaenda kumaliza.
Sasa wewe hutaki mtu mdogo apatiwe bima na serikali. Hutaki huyo mwingine apunguziwe kutoka 500 mpaka 300. Hutaki tuwe na hazina maalum. Umeenda kotini kupinga. Na ule mwenye kupenda kupinga kotini ako na insurance comprehensive. Mtoto yake ako na kazi. Hawa watu jameni, si nipambane na hawa.
Section of church Muslims petition parliament over LGBTQ, and a section of religious leaders drawn from the Christian and Muslim faith have presented a petition in parliament pushing for an immediate inquiry into what they term as the proliferation of the LGBTQ agenda in the country. Now, the clergy claim that there has been a well-choreographed and a well-financed plan to fight laws prohibiting homosexuality by persons purporting to represent the rights of the LGBTQ community. Here are the full details of this story.
A common thread through all these attempts throughout the world has been their claim that there is discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, which is not recognized in Kenya and in Africa. The Supreme Court, in the case of NGO Board versus Eric Gitari, they issued the decision on 24th February last year, overstretched its mandate in holding that the right to equality before the law would not be advanced if people who purported to be having a different sexual orientation were not allowed to associate in Kenya.
This bill in summary will define who is a woman, who is a man, what is sex, what is gender, what is male, what is female, so that nobody should be struggling to define what a woman is.
We would want to support strongly the Karuma bill. Many times we have been accused as churches for not speaking, but when we speak, our voice is not heard or is not publicized. Therefore, today we want to stand and support this bill.
Religious leaders again have held talks with EACC chairman. Now, Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Kenya, Jackson Ole Sapit, says that churches will not be used as platforms to sanitize ill-gotten wealth from politicians and other congregants. Sapit spoke hours after leaders held a consultative meeting with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission chairperson David Oginde to discuss ways the two institutions can collaborate to fight corruption in the country. Here are the full details.
We are not going to use the pulpit as a place where politicians come and champion their divisive rhetoric and they talk. The church cannot close doors to anybody, so whoever want to come and worship. But what we are saying, we are segregating the pulpit side from the congregant pews. It's not a place of cleaning ill-gotten money. That through the church, then we are able to sanitize and make them, look better because they came through the church.
We have had a very, very fruitful consultation, and we have experienced very good support from the church, and they have promised to stand with us as we stand against this vice of corruption in the country. And they have also given us insight and wisdom on some things that we could consider doing and partnering together with the church and with the general religious community, because we recognize that as the work that we are doing would also require divine intervention.
Decision over IEBC risks a plunging country into crisis. Now, the High Court decision to order an immediate recruitment of new IEBC commissioners has exposed the constitutional vacuum that the talks between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza created in the name of a political truce. Here are the full views on this story.
Already a constitutional crisis. IEBC, as one of the independent institutions, has an ongoing mandate to mediate political processes. One of them is to conduct by-elections. Another one is to review boundaries. And these are ongoing processes. They are not linked to a general election. It was a mistake, actually, to disband IEBC without a plan for reconstituting a new one. Remember, there is a constituency that doesn't have an MP at the moment. I think it's called Banisa, somewhere in Mandera also. And the people of Banisa have a right to be represented in parliament continuously. They have not been represented for well over a year now. Nobody in this country has mandate to disinherit me from or to deny me the right to representation.
The delimitation of boundaries, which is required under law to be done at least 10 years, but not later than 12 years. Now, 10 years came in the year 2022, but the law allowed us up to 12 years, which now expires in March of 2024. So in terms of the crisis that would then ensue, is that there would be a lacuna in law where delimitation has not been done, and there are constituencies which may cease to exist. The constituencies were saved under the law were about 30 constituencies, including Odhaya is one of them, I think Daragwa is one of them, and a number of other constituencies. It means then that we cannot plan for them, the government cannot allocate money to them, you cannot appropriate resources for CDF and other planning things in terms of infrastructure, roads, and other things. That is the immediate constitutional crisis that I foresee.
Seeks to remove CJ Martha Koome from office. Now, a petition seeking to remove Chief Justice Martha Koome from office has been filed with the Judicial Service Commission. The petitioner, Michael Kojo Otieno, claims that the Chief Justice failed to follow the law in appointing members of the Tax Appeal Tribunal.
That one clearly indicates that if you've appointed more people than the expected number, then definitely you want to have power to rule over them.
Detectives have taken over Halwale Waka death probe. Now investigations into the death of Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale's farmhand have now been taken over by the Homicide Department of the DCI. Here are the full details.
The burial was withheld for some time so as to give the police ample time. The burial was withheld for some time so as to give the police ample time to carry out those fire investigations about allegations that the deceased could have been murdered.
Pia tulienda mali ng'ombe iliyomuua mtoto tulipata ni ng'ombe. Ila mtoto alipelekwa Kakamega kuenda kupasuliwa tukapata ni ng'ombe. Hati mtu ameshaua mtoto wangu hapana.
Na tunaomba serikali kwa ishani yenu msisumbue roho ya maiti, mtupatie tusike mtoto wetu. Mungu amrehemu, amweke mahali pema.
Katika mila ya Waluya, ng'ombe ikikauka binadamu huwa hatuichinji, huwa tunaiua. Tuna tofauti kati ya kuchinja ng'ombe na kuua ng'ombe.
The miller from the Kakamega region, we come to the end of the news that are making headlines in the country. And when we come back, we're coming back with